guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kim, my favorite y'all. All right, so if y'all are here, I'm hoping that you're here because you already watched part 1 to this video, which basically, if you have not, it's gonna be at one of these two corners up here. Ooh. And I expect you to watch that first, then come here because it's a timeline and it's just not gonna make no sense. You feel me? It's like birthing a baby and then all of a sudden they're like 20 years old. That don't make no sense. Make it make sense, please. So, okay. So, where was I at? Okay, so I have my daughter now, and now she's like super young. And I was going through it with my baby daddy, y'all. I was going through it. So, once again, I'm like in a point in time where I'm like, shit, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I just need to make a drastic change. Like, I need to do something. So anyways, I heard about this program over here, once again in America, because I was back in Jamaica at this time. But yeah, so I heard about a work program over here where basically I could come and work, but it would be like working for contractors and stuff like that. And I would make money, you know, decent money. It's more than I was making in Jamaica or whatnot, and at the time I didn't even have a job. So I was like, yes, you know. But it just was a lot to think about because obviously I would have to leave my then kind of newborn child. So anyways, I decided to make the decision to do it because, like I said, I was at a point in time in my life where it basically was like fight or flight, and I'm a fighter, so I decided to fight. And yeah, I took a chance. My mom was super nervous because she was like, what if it's sex trafficking, and what if you go and like they just kidnap you? Like, she was really paranoid because the guy that I was gonna work for, he was a little bit sketchy, not gonna lie, and he just wouldn't give me a lot of information over the phone. He was just like, basically, you're gonna have a place to stay at, you're gonna have a job for sure, you know, there's plenty of jobs, and you're gonna get paid. That's it. And I was like, to me, I was like, all right, sounds good, you know. Bet when do I buy the plane ticket? But my mom just had a lot more concerns, and she even got the guy's phone number, which was crazy to me because I was like, damn, I'm like 20 years old. And yeah, she was calling him, and she was making sure. She was like, yeah, like, I'm not playing that at all. So he had to like send her the address of where I was gonna be and all that stuff. So anyways, boom. So I get there now, and whoo, y'all, I never worked so hard in my life. I basically knew I was on a time frame because, like I said, it was a program. So, you know, you just have a certain amount of months to be working. And it was like a seasonal job, and I was just like, damn, like, I gotta get this money because my mom had bought the plane ticket for me. And I basically told her, you know, after I start getting my first couple paychecks and I pay my rent and all that stuff, I will pay you back. So I needed to uphold that, and I also needed to go home with some money because I left my baby. So obviously I need to come back with something so it just doesn't look dumb, you know what I mean? So the first job I got was in this hotel cleaning rooms like a housekeeper. Hated that job. Hated that job. I think I only did that job for a month. I don't even think I did it for a whole month. I did it for a little bit, and I just hated it. It just was crazy. It was spring break, and I was in Florida, and boy, I was in a party city, and I don't know, that was the first time I realized I was getting older, because I was just like, bruh, and mind you, I was 20 at the time, and I was just like, yo, all these people are just like so wild. They're just partying non-stop, and it was just like crazy to me. And I was just like, yo, these people ain't got no priorities. Like, what the hell? They party from sun up to sun down. And it just was, I just hated it. And I just felt like really low, like cleaning up after people, all that stuff. I just felt like I was not better than that because I am the type, like, if I need the money, I'm gonna do whatever. But I just felt like I could do better, you know what I mean? I just was like really unfulfilled, and I was like, yeah, nah, this is not it. So I got another job working at like a t-shirt shop. It was like a one of those like souvenir stores where if you've ever been on vacation, you know those little souvenir shops that sell a bunch of t-shirts and little trinkets, and they probably do like piercings and tattoos and that kind of stuff. And yeah, like I worked in one of them stores, and that shit was like literally like a slave ship. They wouldn't let us sit down ever. There was never there's no chair at all in the whole building. It's just racks. Yeah, so yeah, that job was like a slave ship. They just treated us like shit. We had like we would work 8 to 9 hour shifts, and we would have like a 30-minute lunch break. Mind you, that 30 minutes started as soon as you like clocked out, so there was no time to really go anywhere and sit down and eat, because by the time you go there, order your food, the food comes up and all that stuff, you damn near gotta be eating it on your way back, and then you get back on the clock and that's it. Like you just back on your feet, like your food gotta get put away, like all that stuff. So I hated that job too. But mind you, I was still working both those jobs together, because like I said, I mean, I was there to make money, and I wasn't finna quit a job until I had another job. And my idea was that I always wanted to be working like 1 or 2 jobs at a time. So I just kept that job until I felt like, okay, something else came into picture. And yeah, and I was literally like riding my bike to work sometimes, because the other job, I would get off work, the one at the t-shirt shop, I would get off work at like 11 o'clock in the night, and I would not have a ride home, because you know, obviously I wasn't driving, and they had like a bus, but the bus came every hour and it stopped running at a certain time, so I never had no way home. So I bought a bike, and I would literally ride my bike to work. It was like miles that I was riding to work and riding back home in the middle of the night. That shit was crazy. Then I started having a little bit of money, so I started like taking a cab home. But yeah, it was wild. Then after that, I think the next job I did, I worked at a popcorn store on the mall, and that job, not gonna lie, I really liked that job. That was my first like little like storefront shit that was kind of cool. I was on my feet too the whole time, but I just feel like it was a lot more pleasant, and we got a lot more traffic because it was on the mall, and people would just come in all the time. It was called like Popcorn Kingdom, and we used to have like a whole like wall with a bunch of different flavors of popcorn, even like flavors you just would not ever imagine, and we made them all in the back. So that was really cool, a cool process too, because they taught us how to make majority of the popcorns and stuff like that, and people would come in and they would buy like different flavors and would have like a tri-colored bag. It just was really fun, and I was getting not really much for that job. Oh, none of these jobs was paying me much. All of them was paying me like $8.50 an hour, so that really wasn't much. So that's why I had to have 2 jobs. While I was working at that job, I think I remember I quit the first hotel I was working at, and I started working at another hotel, because I think they were paying $9 an hour, and I was like, what? Yes, ma'am. And I don't know, I just liked that hotel a little bit more. So I went to work at that hotel. It was the same thing basically. I was still housekeeping. So I was housekeeping and I was working at Popcorn Kingdom. Then I think I started working at this restaurant. Yes, I started working at this restaurant. This was a big break for me. I feel like I'm missing jobs because I was dead ass working at acid jobs at a time. But yes, then I started working at shit, I just said it. I started working at a restaurant, right? So the restaurant I started working at, it was a real nice uppity restaurant and stuff. It was really big, and this was my first time serving, and I was just like, I didn't really have much experience. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was young. So it just was, you know, I didn't have much knowledge of alcohol. I wasn't good at sales. Like, it just was not very good. But I was making a lot more money than I was making at any of them other jobs, because that's when I first got introduced to the whole tip industry. And I was like, oh, these tips, they add up. Like, it's a lot better than having a job that's paying you like a set amount of money. And that's when I fell in love with serving. And I was like, wow, it's just basically quick, easy money. And I was like, yes, not easy money, because serving is hard, but you know what I mean. So I got another job at another restaurant, and this was a diner, and this one was a little bit crazy because it was third shift. This was my first time working third shift, and I was like, woo. So yeah, I was working like all night long, and I would get home at like 7 o'clock in the morning. But that was cool. That was a diner, and we would basically get a bunch of drunk people that's leaving the clubs and the bars and stuff like at like 3-4 in the morning. And you know, I don't know why, but drunk people always want coffee and breakfast food, so they would come in and they would eat. I loved that job because it was a family-owned business, and they were so nice to the staff. They were like, they knew us by name. Like, the owner, she would come in the morning time. She'd be like, how you doing, Kim? And she would like ask me about my daughter, and just, you know, like, she paid attention to us. You could tell that we weren't just another body that's just like putting money in their pocket. Like, it felt like a family, and I really loved that job. Like, I loved that job. Even to the point where I was making less there than I was making at the other restaurant, but I was super loyal to them at this restaurant just based on how they made me feel. At the other job, I kind of felt like I said, it was my first serving job, so I kind of felt like that person that they were just like, she just doesn't know what she's doing. And it was a little bit annoying sometimes to be like sunned all the time. So I mean, I didn't really like that. But at this job, I loved it, and I was making decent money too. And it was easy. They didn't care about, like, if it's not busy, we could literally like sit outside and like chill out, talk, be on our phone. And we used to get like, we used to be able to eat there too, which that was a plus, because my other jobs never ever like provided lunch or nothing like that. So this was the first restaurant I worked at where they was like, basically, as long as you're at work, if you want something and it's not busy, just let the chef know and he'll make it for you. And I was like, yo, I was gaining weight. I was eating like at least 2 meals every shift, and I was taking something home in the morning when I was going home for breakfast. It was great. And then at the same time, I told y'all it was spring break, so I got hired to be there was like this little gig. It was temporary, it wasn't a real job, but basically I got hired at another hotel to be security. Can you believe it? Yes, I was security at this big ass hotel, Days Inn, but it was a big Days Inn, and they had a big old deck, and they would do this summer fling every year. I don't even remember what it is called, but it was like during the college week of spring break, so it would be like the older kids, and it was wild. And they basically needed all the security that they could get, so they hired a bunch of people. Listen, look at me. If they hired me as security, you know, they just needed bodies. So basically they just hired a bunch of us, and one of my friends put me on. He was like, do you want this little extra job? I'm like, do I? Of course. So I took it, and that was really fun too, because yo, I felt like such a badass. I felt like, I guess I see how like mall cops and shit feel, because I felt like a mall cop. I didn't have a gun or a badge or anything really other than a black t-shirt that said security, and I had a walkie-talkie, and they would like tell us like, okay, you guys, you're gonna be on this side, this is your station for the night, you're supposed to stand here. Basically we had to like stand up and like just make sure that everybody that was coming in had on like a wristband, because Yo, when I say these kids was unruly, they was unruly, and they was always having people in their rooms or just on the property that don't stay there. So it's just like, just imagine just a mass amount of people. It was so unreal. And then me being like young, and I'm like trying to tell these people, no, you can't do that. Hey, you need to leave. Like, they was not taking me serious at all, like at all. So that was fun, but I mean, like I said, like nobody really took me serious, but it was fun. And it was cool too, because like we got to be in the hotel and just kind of like walk around and be on the pool deck. I loved like being the security on the pool deck because it was fun, it was entertaining, because this was another like late night job too. And I would just be like, try not to be tired, because I have to leave this job and go to my all night job. So being on the pool deck, you know, you seen all these teenagers, and they're like close to me in age, and they're in the pool and they're talking, and you know, you're kind of listening to the conversation. Sometimes they'll talk to you and whatnot, but you kind of have to be professional and, you know, just let them know you're in charge. So not be too friendly like you're out there to party. But that was really cool. And then what? So I was working 3 jobs at this point. But then, like I said, this one was seasonal. So after it slowed down and all that stuff, they got rid of all the extras, and I was back to just my other 2 jobs. But then I got this job at Walmart. I don't know why I took this job, honestly, because like I said, I was making, no, I'm lying. After this, because I literally finished out the season here working both those serving jobs. So I worked both of those jobs until it was time to go back home. I saved up a good bit of money, y'all. Like, I saved up a good bit of money. I felt really good. I paid my mom back. I had some money saved up. And I shopped a lot too, because, you know, you work so hard, you gotta buy stuff. I bought me some little hair. I think that was my first time wearing like virgin hair, because I could afford it, because my mom was definitely not gonna buy me no virgin hair, but I bought it for myself. And I was like, girl, plastic wear, bitch. Like, I am wearing Brazilian hair. Like, I just really was feeling myself. And you know, when you overseas and stuff, people always, like, when you going back to Jamaica or whatever, they always want to see if you look like you've been overseas. So I'm like, yes, girl, I've been slaving my ass off, but guess what? I'm gonna come back looking cute. Yeah, you will never be able to tell. And that's basically what happened. Now we're back in Jamaica, and I'm gonna end this video out right here. I'm gonna have to do a part 3, because like I said, I've worked a lot of jobs. I really never thought this would be a 3-part video, but promise, I think part 3 will be the final one, because I kind of calmed down a little bit after this point. But yes, so now we're back in Jamaica, and once again, I'm gonna bid you a farewell. I will see you guys in part 3, because I know you want to know what happens next, and I can't wait to tell you. So meet me over there, and make sure you're subscribed right now. Okay, don't leave here and don't be subscribed. Love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.